also known as HATRUSA, and today we are talking about Season 4, Episode 6, Yellow Fever.
Hello,
it
I'm
originally
Haley,
aired on
welcome to
October
Haley Taylor,
23rd, 2008, and was written by Andrew Dabb and Daniel Laughlin, and was directed by Phil Gregia? I don't know how to make an SG sound. Yeah, I don't know. For both Andrew and Daniel, this was their first episode that they wrote, but then they both wrote, like, a bunch. Through season 8 for Daniel and through season 15 for Andrew. Andrew is going to become a mainstay because Andrew wrote Carry On. So, hi, Andrew. Welcome to the team. And then the director has been here for a while and will be here from season 1 through season 14. So these writers, this director, this is where we live now, apparently. That's good? Is it good? Okay.
Oh my god, my microphone was muted. So silly. It's fine, I was mostly quiet. I was trying to say, for the record, having a writing debut for Andrew Dabb that is, Yellow Fever is pretty good because I personally really like this episode. And looking through, I mean, some of these episodes
there's something to be said about writing
from what
the last episode.
He wrote Wayward Sisters, which is kind of a nothing episode, but, like, I liked it. So
he wrote a lot with Daniel.
Also,
like, until Daniel left, he was writing with Daniel.
In this season,
basically.
Yeah. In this season, he writes After School Special, which I remember liking a lot, so...
Mm-hmm. You know what? Fair point. The only content warning is that there's mention of a suicide in this.
And you know what?
And, I mean, I guess Dean, like, kind of throws up a little.
You just really write it together, like, fuck yeah, keep doing it. Yeah, and also,
I think it's worth it because of what we're going to talk about later.
Say,
but, like, within the episode itself, I think you could argue that character is not around enough for you to, like, it's because we know what they're referencing, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have that as much, it's just kind of like, you know, it's not as overt as we sometimes get in Supernatural. Yeah. A summary. This is going to be a little bit of a hot mess. Yeah, you might feel a little bit weird about it, but once again, we are starting in media res. Dean is running. He is very scared. He is being chased, and it is by a tiny little Yorkie with a bow. Cut to 43 hours earlier. We are in Rock Ridge, Colorado, if anyone is, like, plotting this on a map, and we're in the morgue. The boys are, once again, FBI agents. The corpse is a guy named Frank. He was a runner. He died of a heart attack after having some paranoia. They watch an autopsy and notice that Frank's arms are all scratched up. There's no blockages in, like, the arteries, and the heart looks healthy, so that's weird because he died of a heart attack. I don't know how they know he died of a heart attack if there are no signs of a heart attack, but that's what that TV show tells me. The coroner hands the heart to Dean to just, like, hold, and Sam gets spleen juice squirted all over his face. Because he's holding the heart? But, like, I guess... Hold on, I'm, like, skimming back through...
Oh, that's why he catches it first,
Didn't someone else die? Because weren't they like, you know what?
The heart first.
It's not even in the wiki, so we're just gonna move on. I'll talk about it later. They go to the police station to see a sheriff who is Frank's friend, and the sheriff makes them take off their shoes and puts on a bunch of hand sanitizer, and then he starts coughing and puts on more hand sanitizer, and they just do the general question thing. And we find out that Frank was, like, jittery, and then anxious, and then paranoid, and then dead in, like, 48 hours. Dean sees some teenagers and is like, Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. Dean sees some teenagers and he doesn't like the look of them, and then that scene ends never to go anywhere. They go see Frank's neighbor who keeps a bunch of reptiles, and he recognizes their Aerosmith names. The guy's got a snake wrapped around him and says that Frank was scared of witches and thought the Wicked Witch of the West was going to get him. Dean starts to get real freaked out by all the reptiles. The neighbor tells them that Frank was, like, a bully in high school, and also tells them that his wife died about 20 years ago. She went missing for a couple of days and then was found dead by suicide. Dean gets scared by, was it a banana ball python? Is that what you said? Big yellow snake. Big yellow snake. In the car, Sam says there were no signs of any other creatures on Frank. No, like, marks, hex bags, nothing like that. Dean is driving at the speed limit, which is weird. The EMF starts going off near Dean, and Dean is like, am I haunted? Cut to parking lot, Eye of the Tiger scene. You have probably seen it. Dean is in the Impala, blasting Eye of the Tiger, pretending to drum in the front seat, and Sam knocks on the top of the Impala. Dean has got scratches, Sam has called Bobby, and Dean has ghost sickness, which can spread like any sickness, and Dean has 24 hours until he dies, which is great. Again, Sam isn't sick because everyone who died was like an asshole and all used fear as a weapon, so the ghost sickness is using the fear that they use against them. Sure. Dean is back in the hotel room and he's reading a book about ghost sickness and he starts like hallucinating bold text and it says like, you're going to die. Are you gonna cry? And so he destroys a clock and starts drinking. Sam finds out that Jesse's body was cremated. That is Frank's wife, so she's not the ghost. And Dean starts choking and throws up a wood chip. So they go to a lumber mill and Dean is freaked out. Sam finds Frank's wedding ring on the ground. There's the locker scene where Sam opens it and there's a cat and Dean screams. I'm only mentioning it because you've seen this gif of Dean screaming. You have seen it. I promise you've seen it. They find a room with a bunch of papers on Frank's wife and a bunch of drawings on her, about her, of her. Words are hard. And as they're going through this collection, the machinery starts up and a dude appears in the corner and Dean just fucking bolts and Sam realizes he's a ghost. They go back to the sheriff's office. The deputy's like, the sheriff isn't here, but that's a lie. The deputy lied, and the sheriff is in his office, scratching his arms and freaking out. So that's good. This episode is complicated. The boys go to see the brother of the ghost, who is named Luther. The ghost is named Luther. At some point, they figured this out.
Yeah.
Yes, they found his ID. Thank you. So his brother is like, yeah, Frank killed Luther.
Oh,
so
they found
Frank's wife Jessie was a receptionist at the mill, and she was nice to Luther, and Luther had a crush on her. ID. And Frank wasn't into that, and everyone else was mean to Luther and scared of him because he was like really large and kind of weird. I guess that's how they described him. And when Jessie went missing, she like ran away and then died by suicide. Frank thought that Luther had something to do with it, so Frank came in with a gun, saw Luther's drawings of Jessie, and then knocked him out with the rifle, wrapped his neck in chains, and then dragged him on the back of a truck down a road until he was dead. And then everyone covered it up, and no one talked about it. The scrapes on the arms that everyone's getting are road rash, and the wood chips that only Dean is throwing up are probably what Luther swallowed. And so Sam says they're experiencing Luther's death in slow motion. Dean freaks out, has a long monologue because Sam is like, we're not going to be able to find all the remains, and Dean panics and talks about how much his life sucks. And then we're back at the beginning because he walks away, sees the dog, and panics. Great. Dean goes back to the hotel room and he is freaking out, and Sam comes in, tells him he's going to hell, and flashes yellow eyes at him and, like, force chokes him against the wall. Mm-hmm. Dean is just hallucinating, basically. He's hallucinating now. Bobby comes out, he's got a book in Japanese, and is like, it's a buru-buru. I said that wrong. Boru-boru? And they go to the lumber mill while Dean stays back and watches TV. Dean hears some hellhounds. The sheriff just bursts into the motel. I don't know why he knows they're there. And attacks Dean with a gun. And the two of them fight. And Dean sees demon eyes again. He starts freaking out more. They're both, like, also having heart attacks at this point. Like, the sheriff has a heart attack and dies. At the mill, Luther isn't there, so Sam starts tearing up drawings of Jessie. Luther's here, the sheriff dies, Dean is scratching a bunch and holding a Bible, and baby Lilith shows up, and she just starts saying ba-boom, and now we're cutting back and forth between her saying ba-boom and Sam getting beat up by Luther. And this goes on for like 2 minutes. And Sam gets a chain around Luther's neck. It's an iron chain that they later tell us has spells on it. And Bobby is in the car and just drags him because you can kill a buru by instilling their biggest fear.
Yeah.
Sure. So he dies. Bobby, Sam, and Dean stand around and talk, and Dean's like, I'm not scared of anything. I'll go on a hunt. And Sam is like, so what'd you see? And we see a flash of yellow, and Dean is like, howler monkeys. Yeah. And then the episode ends. And then over credits, we get more Eye of the Tiger. And that was a really bad summary, because this was confusing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it was pretty solid. I have nothing to add. Anything that I do have to add, I can easily do through my notes, which are going to come right after I tell you the death count for this episode, which was
a classic question we've never come to a conclusion on.
And 3 mentioned, for a total of 5, but also 1 was a ghost. So if we want to count the ghost as 1, cool, that's 5. But if we don't, then it's a 4. So it's... Yeah. So, all things considered,
this is true. He does.
This episode. And also, that's the thing I wanted to add to your summary. Really funny. After the sheriff dies,
yeah, it's like a weird. It's like a weird, like green, and it looks like it's got a pattern on it. And I'm always like, what kind of hotel are you guys in where you're getting these?
Him with a blanket, but the next time we cut to the hotel room, he's covered with a blanket.
Yeah, no cast. Yeah.
It was really goofy to me, you know? There is no cast quote, obviously, because Castiel wasn't in this fucking episode, because we were fucking teased. We've been teased. But that's okay. We are going into my notes. Haley's notes. My first note is that this was a cultural phenomenon of an episode, and I will stand by that, and I truly believe that, because of the amount of gifable and, like, quotable moments that I remembered distinctly from this episode, watching it as a, 12-year-old or whatever. Then I have the note, not Agent Tyler and Agent Perry, because, guys, what are you doing? This one's a funny note. I wrote this one down as you can see in the beginning. One Winchester, Sam, is wearing a red tie. The other Winchester, Dean, is wearing a blue tie. Is this a political statement? Maybe. Think about it. Then I have that Dean giggled at the word cocks because he is 12, followed by the man is using hand sanitizer like it's his lifeline. Turns out it was. Sorry, King. When we first meet the sheriff, he's, coughing and, he shakes their hand, but then, really hastily, uses a bunch of hand sanitizer. And then he coughs again and uses hand sanitizer. And it's, not just one pump of hand sanitizer. He takes the bottle and fucking squirts it in his hand.
That scene got me because crazy. It really felt like it should have gone to some kind of confrontation or something. Because Dean is relatable. I don't like how those teenagers look and walks off honestly. Very determinedly, and then it just hard cuts to the next scene, and you're just like, what? It's a little. Yeah, it's just too harsh a cut almost.
Yeah,
and because this is the first
it's supposed
he's
to
been
be
a little weird, but this is
Dean
supposed to be the first moment where you're like, oh, Dean's being
the
weird.
Way that it's ignored.
Typically, if he were there's something off about those guys, he would just walk up to them and be confront them. So he walks off with a lot of purpose, but the purpose we don't know what it is. He doesn't confront anyone. He even kind of walks in that direction, so it's just odd. It's not cut in the best way, I think. I think it needed to be something needed to change. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Then I have the line from the
we literally commented on this last
when he says
episode.
Tyler and
we were
Perry,
like, how do people not pick up on this? And they do
we had
sometimes.
A reaction to that because we're like, yeah, brother, you should have seen this coming. I don't know why we didn't see this coming.
Yes.
Yeah. But also,
yeah.
Right. Also, it is a little bit funny though because this is when Dean is starting to have his fear. So, he says that, man. And Dean's face gets, really uncomfortable. Because he's like, oh, shit, I've been caught. And then I have the line, that green bitch was out to get him, in regards to the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz. Because that made me giggle a little bit. Followed by the fact that I really love Dean's nervous laughter and then throat clearing. He does it, a lot, especially in the early episode, where he says something and then immediately is like, oh, fuck, I fucked up, and, clears his throat. He says it when, I don't remember exactly what was said, but it's when the reptile guy is like, yeah, he was a little bit of a bully. And then the guy says, like, oh, he taped somebody's, like, butt cheeks together, and then he's like, it was mine, and Dean, like, does his nervous, because Dean, like, laughs, but then he, like, yeah. I just like it. I like when Dean's stupid. Sue me. I think it's awesome. Then I have in all caps, I've written, Eye of the Tiger moment. He's just like me for real, because that's how I am when I am in the car. Macy tells me all the time that I'm going to get us into an accident, and I say, no, I'm not. It's okay. I'm safe. We're safe. Because there's a Chris Fleming video about, like, theater kids or some shit, and it's, like, the frozen... Macy, what is it?
Frozen-related fender bender.
Frozen-related fender bender.
Yeah, you said that out loud, and
Macy teases me and says that's me.
Nella, like react to that.
Me. Anyway, here's my one. I wrote that Dean is kind of hot when he's being really stupid and scared. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. There was a real reaction. Mm-hmm. Macy rolled their eyes at me. I think that you're all just fucking weak. I think you don't understand it because you're weak. I like my men stupid.
Yeah,
I like my men scared. Yeah. So then I have this next note is about
Don't worry about
title.
It.
The titles.
Don't worry about
the names of the teams, the softball teams or softball. Okay, cool. The Corn Jerkers and Gamecocks. Brother, what? Like, what the fuck do you mean?
I know they're hallucinations, but like someone in art department had to make them, and it's really funny because like the hallucination parts are just like bolded and slightly larger text, so it does make everything else look really weird around it because the spacing is all off. I don't know.
Yep. And it's like, it's really funny because it's like, is that Dean's inner thoughts? Does he say to himself, baby gonna cry? Baby gonna cry? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, baby is gonna cry. What about it? My next one is a quote from Dean from when after he spits up the wood chip. And he says,
it is when he's hallucinating.
It made me giggle. Like, I don't know why
Sam
he's
with
like
yellow
so
eyes
there, but he's like,
Asriel?
He's been woobified.
No.
Something awful.
Azazel. I was like, as soon as I said it, I was like, no, that's not. No. Mm-hmm. No, Toby Fox is not involved in this.
Asriel is the Undertow character.
There's like that's the dog. Anyway, when he sees the yellow eyes, he says something like, get out of my brother. And Sam is like, this isn't a possession.
Toby
this
Fox
is like
is
where we're going to end up or something. Like, this is always where I was going to end up. And I know Dean has like a lot of worries about Sam going full demon, which in the end is a little ironic because he also becomes a demon. But anyway, it is still so baffling to me that multiple times throughout this series, there are multiple times, and I know this is a hallucination, but they keep hammering home, like, Sam is going to become a demon, and then there's a point where they do just drop that. Like, in season 5, they have that entire episode where they're like, yep, Lucifer's gonna get him. And, like, it doesn't. And it's like, it didn't have to be, but it's really hammered home. And then, like, it just peters out. It's one of those things where it's very much like, if this were a show where you actually knew you were going to get 15 seasons, which is what this podcast is, how would you do it better? And if you're going to bring something up so often, it feels like there should be a better conclusion to that arc. Because I don't think I realized that this early. I mean, it's not that early considering this is going to happen next season, but like, it still feels a little early for the show to be like, yeah, so Sam is just going to be full demon and full evil. It's like, oh, there's a lot of things that could have been awesome about this show.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah.
Which would be so awesome. So true. And
I don't understand when he dropped it. Like, I guess the answer is when he killed Luther, but then, like, how did he...
that a guy dropped his wedding ring and just left it. I don't buy that. I simply don't buy that. My mom... Well, it's...
He charged in with, like, a gun.
That's the implication, is that he dropped it when he killed Luther.
Yeah, you're right. Dean noticed he would have been wearing a wedding ring.
But why would he have the fucking... Like, remember when they're looking at his body and Dean...
Very BBC Sherlock.
That too. But also, when Dean
No, that
right, and
it's
it was
weird
like
because I actually, and I'll talk about this in lore later. I actually think there's like a weird amount of continuity errors in this 40-minute episode. Like Supernatural is not great at continuity as is. I don't think they kept. If they kept a story Bible or a bestiary, they didn't, like, do a good job of it, you know? Like, they weren't referencing it properly. And they, like, allowed themselves to find where creatures were going by having them show up 4 or 5 times before, like, they settled. But that part was so weird. Because it's like, but why? Like, the thing about wedding rings, the thing about rings in general, I wear rings every day, is, like, unless you are actively playing with them, they shouldn't come off. Like, when you're just doing things, unless you have a ring that doesn't fit, which is never going to be your wedding ring, except unless you have pretty specific circumstances, your wedding ring is, like, not going to just come off. And by specific circumstances, I mean, like, some people's hands swell, so they get it slightly bigger, so it's not, like, hurting them when it's swollen. But when their hand is not swollen, like, it's still, like, not just gonna, like, fall off. So what was he doing where he, like, I know he was dragging a body around, but, like, I don't understand how this ring fell off. I just don't understand, especially if he was still broken up about his wife. Like, why would he never go back for it? He didn't get in any trouble. Everyone knows that he killed this guy.
He was sweating
and he's apparently still 20 years later broken up about his wife. Why would he not go back for the ring? I don't get it. I think they could have left something else there or given him a reason to go back at some point.
I don't either. I think it's unrealistic, and I think it's stupid, and I think the show is stupid.
You have seen it. I promise you've seen it.
I agree.
And if you haven't, I will go find it and reblog it before this episode comes out. That was my Tumblr sidebar
gif for like 3 years. Good times. You have definitely seen it. Everybody. Please, that would be really good.
I think there's something to be said, and I think it's just contrast. We've talked about this before about the goofier episodes of Supernatural being the most popular ones, and it's just that there's so much heavy that it becomes a lot. But I do think Dean gets slightly more of these episodes where something goes wrong and he's gone goofy because he's like kind of the more intense brother most seasons and in a lot of situations. Not scientific numbers on that. I'm just like saying that's like the feeling. He is goofy. No one come at me and be like, actually, no, I know. Mm-hmm. I know.
And I like that. Oof. And then my next one will come up later. Really important. I wrote during the episode that they are really Lennying Luther up, bro. The kitten bit. The obsession with a pretty woman. For those of you who, for some reason, somehow don't know what that means, hi, welcome to I'm an English Teacher. The novella of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck features 2 men who travel together. They are... Oh my god, why am I forgetting the fucking name?
They're
traveling looking for work.
I was like, the character names?
No. Like, the name for what they are, not their names. Yes, migrant workers. They're migrant workers. No. So, George Milton, Lenny Smalls. George Milton is this little, small, little, thin guy, and Lenny is this big, tall, doof guy who is described as shapeless. And in the novella, he is, like, very clearly delayed in development. He has it seems like some like perhaps like implied autism or some other developmental delay. He's treated different, etc., and that is exactly what happens to Luther. And I remembered it when we got to the log place. I was like, oh shit, I know exactly what this episode is. And it just gets more and more Lennied. Again, we'll circle back. Anyway, my next one is that Dean's fear monologue has to be one of the best ever monologues in media, to me. Mm-hmm. It's definitely up there, I think, with Negan's in The Walking Dead. I don't remember which Negan speech it is, but like if I listen to it, I can tell you.
Gets more tragic when you like actually look at the show really, too, like, because it's if you're not watching the show, he basically goes on this long rant because Sam is like, this is the part where Sam is like, we're not gonna be able to find all the remains because Frank dragged him down a road. So we can't know for sure we've gotten everything and salt and burn them. So we just have to figure something out. And Dean is like, frustrated and upset with this and also very scared. And he's just like, our lives suck. This sucks. Yeah. Our jobs suck. There's something wrong with us. Like, yeah, he's like, yeah. And then he goes on this whole thing about, like, this is what's wrong with me.
He's like, what the fuck are we doing? I'm coping. This is not what crazy... this is not what normal people do. Normal people run away when they see a ghost. We run at them. What are we doing? Do you want to read?
I can copy paste it for you. Here's your dramatic monologue.
Hold on. I'm gonna go fucking... I want to read it. No, I want to read it. Yeah, do that. Dean says, and that, Sam, that is exactly why our lives suck. I mean, come on, we hunt monsters. What the hell? I mean, normal people, they see a monster and they run. But not us. No. We search out things that want to kill us. Yeah? Huh? Or eat us. You know who does that? Crazy people. We are insane. You know, and then there's the bad diner food and the skeevy motel rooms and the truck stop waitress with the bizarre rash. I mean, who wants life like this, Sam? Huh? Seriously? Do you actually like being stuck in a car with me 8 hours a day, every single day? I don't think so. I mean, I drive too fast, and I listen to the same 5 albums over and over and over again, and I sing along. I'm annoying. Yeah. I know
he
that.
He says, like, stay away from me and blah, blah, blah. And he says he's done. He's done fighting monsters. You have a burrito
and you get toxic. I mean, you know what? And then he tosses Sam the keys, and he says, you can forget it.
Yeah. I mean, I like it's... this isn't... like, it is something they kind of come back to. They come back to it at
he's
almost
like, I'm done.
Sam
I quit.
Dies,
and he walks away. And then he sees the dog and
has
runs.
A normal life for a year. But, like, it's... I feel like it's not something they ever really address. That, like... This is him talking when he's extremely scared. But, like, things he's scared about are, like, his brother not liking him. But also, like, all of these things he's talking about, like, driving too fast and, like, doing the same things over and over again, and then, like, the truck stop waitress, it's all these things where he's, like, trying to fill up something that he does not have, and this is just, like, not gonna come back, and it gets worse when you know that, like, the show ends without him ever stopping. He never stops doing any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if this were a good show, this could be like a great tragedy, but it's a bad show with bad wigs. He
fucking dies doing the thing that he hates
not
doing.
In any way, shape, or form good.
Supernatural. Eat shit.
Yeah, I'm never gonna stop thinking about it. It's really bad. Anyway.
Yeah. With bad wigs. Sam's fucking old man wig, bro. God. It's really bad. My next note is a line from that monologue, but I just read it, so it's the line where he says that he listens to the same 5 albums on repeat, and that he's annoying. I went, is Dean think about autistic? Maybe, honestly. Think about it. Food for thought. Both Winchesters are autistic. Hot take. Think about it. Anyway, thank you.
I don't think this is going to come up again, though.
With 3 hearts after it, because I love him. I love that man. And then I have the note that Bobby is fluent in Japanese, speaking and writing.
I agree with you. It's just one of those things where you're like, okay, and then it's not.
No, I don't think so either, but it's very, very funny. Because... I feel like we've talked about it before with Bobby, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but also it's been a couple years, so, like, I don't expect either of us to fully remember, but, like, the thing about Bobby that's so funny is that he's this, like, white trash, like, hick-looking guy who you expect to be stupid, but he's actually, like, very well-read and very fucking smart. Because Dean, he pulls out this little booklet, and it's fully in Japanese, and Dean's like, you can read this? Oh, it's Sam. Sorry. Sam goes, you speak Japanese, and Bobby says, Kimi ga umareru mai kara zuto dayo, which means I've always known Japanese since before you were born.
I think Bobby is just like weirdly so underutilized, funny. But I think that's. I don't think that this is an uncommon opinion. I think this is a very common opinion.
Nobody misses Bobby
fandom, if I had to guess, especially in the early seasons where he only shows up a couple times in a season. They just kind of call him, and off screen they'll be like, "Yep, he did this," and it's like, okay, thanks, guys. He's definitely a little bit of like a Deus Ex Machina when like the writers are like, someone needs to figure this shit out and we can't just send them to the library again.
Yeah. Yep. So good. My next note is Dean loves Gumby. He was watching Gumby. And then I have, this is my most important note of the episode, is that Dean is fucking valid the same for sound. Being terrified of dogs right now. I think they use the same sounds. And if I were him, I would be too. Because the hellhounds. If I were dragged into hell by hellhounds, I don't think I would ever want to see a dog again. I would never want to see a dog bark.
To be specific, though, this is right before the sheriff bursts in, and so Dean is sitting in a room, and when he died, the door is shaking and he's hearing hellhounds again.
I have dog trauma.
Yeah.
That's me talking as Dean.
He is hallucinating, to be clear. This part, he's hallucinating. Yeah. He's having a bad time.
Yeah. So, it's literally, dude. He's hallucinating.
Yes,
he's having the worst day. Yeah. And finally, my final note is
nice.
Sam's Jean on Jean action. And then Bro was wearing a jean jacket, and he was rocking that denim on denim, and I think he should do it more often. And that's the end of my notes today.
There are. And she doesn't have any lines.
Which
she has one moment with a man.
I'll test first for you right now. There's no fucking Bechdel test because there's no female characters. The only female character is dead.
Gives it to her, yeah. So that is our woman of the week.
She drops her pencil and he picks it up and gives it to him.
And we're going to start with to her. In episode lore, and then after that we will go to real life folklore. So the main thing that I want to bring up, first of all, this concept of ghost sickness is only going to come up one other time. It's apparently mentioned in Last Call, and that's it. Also, I found out that there's something called a Very Supernatural Special, which is a documentary-style episode looking back on the first 9 seasons. I didn't watch this, but we're gonna have to watch it apparently, so letting you know now, because I don't know if it's on Netflix. So this is only in this, and then it's also in Jump the Shark. But it says in lore book, which makes me wonder if it's literally they're showing a book and you see the word ghost sickness, because it doesn't say mentioned, it says in lore book, which is hilarious. So this is not something that is going to come back at all. So we don't really need to know much about it, but this is what I'm talking about when I say that this episode internally doesn't actually make sense. So the first thing is that they all die having a heart attack. That is explicitly said multiple times, that you are having a heart attack. You're feeling the effects of a heart attack. But the autopsy at the beginning doesn't show any signs of a heart attack. Therefore, what is the cause of death? The coroner doesn't give a cause of death. He's just he died of heart attack, and then he does the autopsy and is oh, there are no signs of a heart attack. This is a healthy heart. So what the fuck? Is a heart attack, though, is a specific thing.
Is it just... I feel like it's just that the heart
I guess, but they keep saying that they're having a heart attack. Plus, the way that they're reacting...
Yeah, I know.
You're hearing the pounding and seeing them in pain in a way that is supposed to make you go, it's a heart attack. It just doesn't really make sense, because it feels like it's contradicting itself. I don't know. It's that is correct. Right. We can say it with confidence. Yeah. Then Sam, I don't remember if I mentioned this. Sam, the reason that it brings up they use fear as a weapon, and that's why they got sick, is because Sam got spleen juice all over his face and he doesn't get sick. I think that it's really lame. I think that's lame, and it doesn't really entirely make sense. Yeah. Are you gonna talk about this message from Eric Kripke
because I was about to be maybe it can only be
then I'll save that for later and talk about it then.
Because the sheriff is also sick simultaneously.
that is weird. Another thing is, I don't think the timelines line up, because
yes, I am.
Earlier Haley said it was because Dean held the heart, which is why he is dying about as fast as the sheriff. It doesn't make sense for the sheriff to die and, like, an hour later for Dean to start dying, because they're supposed to get 48 hours. Like, it just doesn't...
Oh, no.
Oh, why he got... I still don't know why he got it, though, because, like, they were like, it spreads like any other sickness, but he's wearing
it makes
gloves.
Sense that he's dying at the same
unlike
time.
Sam, he doesn't seem to touch any fluid. I don't know. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense, and it's fine. Maybe, possibly. We're gonna just have to go with them, I guess.
I have no idea. I think it was implying because the heart was in his hands and he fucking breathed near it.
What the show says about, like, the actual folklore, the buru-buru,
I'm not saying it's a good reason.
It is Japanese.
I'm just saying
it does exist
reason.
in Japanese folklore. This is a yokai, which I don't think we've talked about on this, I don't think. Which is, like, usually spirits or other supernatural entities that... come from all sorts of things. There are some that are, like, more modern and that, like, hang out in toilets, but there are some that have, like, older roots and stuff. So the buru-buru comes from a book, which is technically what Bobby is referencing, though what he has, I don't believe, is this book. The Konjaku Gazu Zoku Hyaki by Toriyama Seikian, which is from the Edo period. I think it came out in, like, 17 something. And it's this, what does it translate to? The illustrated 100 demons from the present and the past. And it is, like, in a trilogy, and this Toriyama Seikian is an artist, and it's, like, all of these yokai and other demons and everything like that. So there's a bunch in there. He has notes on things about them. This does exist, right? Like, it does exist, and it is involved with fear, but in, like, the opposite way of what the show does. Right now I'm quoting from yokai.com, and I'm gonna be completely straight up and say, like, this does not seem to be necessarily a Japanese person. I can't tell exactly. Someone named Matthew. But it is supposed to be, like, based on these sources. So everything I found in English that was not tied to supernatural has this same information, which is the best I can do. I imagine there's more information if I read Japanese, but I don't. I don't know Japanese. So I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. They are sometimes referred to as spirits of cowardice. They make people shudder in fear. A lot of these yokai that I have read about, because I read about them for
You're
class,
not like Bobby.
A lot of them, like, don't necessarily, like, some of them do, but a lot of them don't, like, hurt you. They kind of just, like, hang out. So boru-boru is, like, that, it's an onomatopoeia, I think. Oh. It's, like, shivering. They also are called the zo, which is also shivering.
Yeah, they're just kind of there.
It's the sound of shivering, because they're scary. But they're apparently born when humans perform acts of cowardice, such as running away from battle. They possess people by clinging to their shirt collars and touching the back of their necks, which makes you shiver. But that's the main thing, right? Like, when someone is cowardly, then they will attach you. So they kind of were just like, well, it's vaguely related to fear, because they're doing the inverse, where in Supernatural, these things are taking that fear. They're infecting people who use fear and terrorize others, opposed to infecting cowards. Does that make sense? I also personally couldn't find anything about, like, getting rid of them. That's from what I could look at very quickly in my very limited experience with yokai.
Yes.
Not necessarily something you're doing. Like, you might protect yourself from yokai, but I don't think, like, Western ideas of exorcism are as common for yokai. I'd have to do deeper research on that. But I couldn't find anything about, like, scaring them to rest is what the wiki calls it, which is why they destroy Luther's spirit the same way he died, which, by the way, is super fucked up. We didn't talk about how fucked up that was, because Luther did literally nothing wrong. I know he killed those guys and is a malevolent spirit, but, like, it was really fucked up to watch them, especially when we're thinking about in relation to Of Mice and Men. It feels... They
deserved it.
It feels like a hate crime. Uh-huh.
Right. Uh-huh. And also, so...
oh, no.
How do I broach this? While I was realizing what episode we were watching, and I was saying it out loud, Macy messaged me on Discord because they didn't want to disturb me of recording. And it's not one-to-one because violence-wise, it's not what happened, but, like...
Yeah.
Macy messaged me and was like, are they, like, pulling an Emmett Till with this character? Macy didn't realize, like, has no context. And I was like, well, the character's not black, so no. But, with the, like, he...
Yes.
realized that Frank killed him because he thought that Luther had done something to or with his wife. So in that, like, that was the thing that made Macy, like, red flag, which is fair. But also,
no, he got.
I'm pretty sure
he got
is
hit
this
by
not,
the evil racist
there another
truck?
guy who got dragged by a truck in an earlier
is it Route 666 or something?
Who was black?
It is the one no one talks about because
a truck?
I mean, no one talks about Cassie unless they want to talk about how Cass and Dean were like always endgame.
Yes.
Like, I'm not kidding. That is the only time I've ever seen someone in the past probably decade talk about Cassie, is because their name's shortened to the same syllable. I don't think people like to talk about it because honestly they bungled it. They bungled it's a racism heavy episode and they didn't do a good job. But also it's like uncomfortable to talk about because it's explicitly about racism. But yeah, they have had involved deaths before that were hate crimes. So it's not as if this is like new imagery almost. I believe it was just like the truck hits them real bad, but it's still like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of Mice and Men. Mm-hmm.
Yes. The racist truck, bro.
Okay.
But yeah, so, like, it's that, and also, again,
like... I don't actually have much more to say. I did want to say, though, this has happened a few times now, and it's a phenomenon that I, like, want to name
we'll come back
at this point, almost.
In the trivia.
But I think we talked about it with the last episode, maybe even, or one of the episodes this season, but there's this interesting and, like, kind of problematic thing about Supernatural, and frankly, like, any paranormal thing, story, but, like, Supernatural especially, is that when I am looking up these creatures, if they are, like, less commonly known to specifically, like, English-speaking audiences, or aren't, like, considered mainstream, I find a lot of blog posts about these creatures that are featured on the show that uses lore from the show, even if it's lore that they made up, you know? Like, I'm not a folklorist, which, like, it would be very cool, but I'm not. And I'm sure there is a discussion that folklorists have about, like, how it develops and, like, what is, like, quote unquote, like, valid development. But, like, this is not, like, natural. It's, like, when you think about Dracula, the stuff that Bram Stoker was writing is not vampire folklore, a lot of it. He's just making shit up for literary reasons. That's what Supernatural is doing. But a lot of these blogs that, like, list Supernatural lore are not mentioning anywhere that their sources from Supernatural, that they heard about it from Supernatural, that Supernatural is in any way involved in the writing of this information. And, like I said, it is especially a problem when these creatures are from, like, non-European or non-US American cultures, or even if they're, like, based in the Americas, like the Rougarou. It's like mostly black. I think that one was, I can't remember if that one is Cajun or Creole. I think that one was Cajun, but still, like, it's not, like, more, like, mainstream. It, like, that, those tend to be the ones where it's an issue. And, like, in some of these blog posts, they'll even use, like, screenshots of, like, books that the boys use for research. Like, I found a blog for this episode, well, for the Buru Buru, that had a screenshot of the book that Bobby shows Sam. And I don't know if that's a real book. that might just be something like art made, like by combining random images and Japanese text. It could also be real. It could also just be a random, like, they might not know what the Japanese says, but they were like, that looks relevant. Like, the image looks relevant. We don't have a translation, so I don't know what it says. But it's just like, I do think that's possibly an issue. Because when we looked up the Rougarou, that was one of the things I ran into, where, like, a bunch of the stuff was just shit from Supernatural. At least 2 of the blog posts I found about the Boroboro were just like, yeah, and you can kill it by using its greatest fear. And it's like, that is not something I could find from something that was citing actual Japanese sources. That's just the CW. So it's like, these are just like white guys making stuff up. It's weird. The white guys making stuff up, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that is just another phenomenon we're running into again. Mostly the reason it's something that I feel is...
I feel like that could be a title.
...concerning is because if those original sources are not constantly brought up and reinforced, then people get this idea about it. This is another thing that happens with, like, a lot of older mythologies and stuff, but yokai are actually not that old. This book, like I said, came out in, like, 1780 or something. This was in the end of the Edo period. But, like, Greek mythology has this happen all the time, and I'm sure there's debates about that, too, but, like, you know... Maybe don't use this show as your source, is all I'm saying. Don't use Percy Jackson as a source either. Like, maybe just don't use pop culture as your folklore source. It's great if that's what gets you involved, but maybe, like, go find a book.
Yeah, maybe don't use Supernatural. Please. Go find a book. It's okay to be inspired by things, but then you need to, like,
if you
real
like
stuff.
Creatures, there are so many books on folklore, mythology, bestiaries. Like, there's so many out there, and you can, like, go read them.
Go read them.
And find something else out, because at least, like, lore doesn't have to be consistent, but it might be more consistent in Supernatural, because this shit's confusing.
Literacy is dying at an alarming rate. Please just go pick up a book. Educate. It's really important.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Crack shipping. Alan Frank. Thank you.
Sure.
That's all. Brought to you by, I'm stealing this one today, Taya. Today is brought to you by Eye of the Tiger by Survivor.
Oh, I wonder why. This episode is also brought to you by Supernatural Dean's Ringtone Updated.
Help me.
Which was uploaded by The Shadow on YouTube. Thank you. I thought, and you can hear me say this in episode, I was like, is this Tom Sawyer by Rush? And it wasn't. And I found a bunch of people on Reddit discussing what they thought it was. And it, according to Emma Leth from 9 years ago, most people say that it's Smoke on the Water, but it isn't. Dean's Ringtone is a sound-alike that was composed for the show so they could avoid royalty payments every time Dean's phone rings. It's supposed to sound familiar, but it's a generic heavy metal riff. It's part Deep Purple Smoke on the Water, part Scorpions We Will Rock You, and part AC/DC Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. And then someone made it, I assume? Or just, like, found like a full version and put it up on YouTube. So
I love that.
You can go listen if you feel like it. It's 28 seconds long.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, the tagline apparently for what I think is the first season of Supernatural was "Fear is a luxury."
Stop it.
Here, I'm going to send you a screenshot of what the image for this video is. I don't know if I've ever seen this promo photo before. I think that's season 1 Sam. Fear is a luxury. That has never been anything.
Stop. This picture is fucking awesome.
I don't think I've ever seen it before.
That is season 1 Sam, though.
Yeah.
Maybe season 2. Fear is a luxury. Can that be our tagline?
I guess. I don't know what it means.
Fear is a luxury. Anyway, Fave Wiki moment. Would you like to go first?
Yep. Yes, I accidentally just closed it. So I actually don't know which ones you're going to do. So mine are kind of two, and they are related. The first is in trivia, which is, in reality, yellow fever is an extremely deadly virus. Ow. The episode probably meant yellow as in yellow belly, which is another term for coward.
Yeah, bro.
And then the other one is, it's like an indent.
Oh my god.
After the Japanese one, which says, the term yellow fever is used when a man perceives only women of Asian descent as erotic, which is something Dean is going to continue doing. Dean is going to just keep fetishizing Asian women, and it's going to keep being a joke.
Yep.
So...
And it will be a joke to the end of time in Supernatural.
Right. Which, like, it's an uncomfortable title when you take into account that this is supposed to be a Japanese spirit. And there are no Japanese people, which is probably for the best, frankly. If we're being completely honest. It's probably a good thing there are no Asian people in this episode.
True. Yeah.
But, that's my favorite part of the wiki.
Really good one. My favorite is the trivia section where it says, the Garland brothers and John's reiteration of their story strongly mirrors the novel of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. Because, we
can tell. We know.
Like, I mean,
not everyone is going to know. This is, like, a book for...
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if people outside of the United States would ever read this book.
But here's
for
the
class,
thing,
like,
but of Mice and Men is such a cultural phenomenon. Like, it's...
Within the United States.
Well, no, not, like... I play RuneScape, and in old school RuneScape, there's a fucking Of Mice and Men reference. Like, and RuneScape is a British game.
I'm not surprised people wouldn't recognize it, but it was very on the nose.
It's so on the nose. And the fact that it's, like, the brother is this, like, old little skinny dude, and, like, Luther's name starts with an L, and he's this big hulking dude who's, like,
and
has an affinity. Yeah, the fucking kitten, bro. The kitten, the affinity for this pretty woman who he's nice to because she's nice to him. And, like, the only difference is that, spoiler alert for Of Mice and Men, if you haven't read that, and, like, you're worried about spoilers for this book from the English fucking high school canon, Lenny dies. And the reason that Lenny dies is that George kills him because he accidentally kills Curly's wife. And, like, the only reason that George kills him is because he's scared of everybody else doing that to Lenny. So, like, this flips that on its head and is like, well, that is what happens to, like, this is what happens to Luther because of that. I don't know where I was going with that, but it's so clearly, like, I just cannot fathom it not being, like, yeah, it does strongly mirror it, because it's a reference. Like,
yeah, and it's like, okay, we talked about this a little bit in the recording of the actual episode. It's like, this is not and won't be the last time that Supernatural is like, hey, the cops are covering stuff up and are corrupt, but they never do anything about it.
Yep.
And I guess we don't have to, because that's kind of, like, a big thing to deal with, but, like, I guess it's supposed to, like, contrast the hunters, but, like, so many hunters suck that it's like, I don't understand what you're trying, just everyone sucks. It's a little frustrating, because, like, yes, all of the people involved with this die, but at the same time, apparently everyone in this town knows this happened, and no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Except for Luther's brother. So it's just, like, that is, like, almost, like, yes, the sheriff dies, but it doesn't feel, it's not cathartic. And one of the reasons it's not cathartic is because we watched Sam and Bobby kill the spirit in the exact same way that Frank killed him. So there is no catharsis of, yeah, those people were awful, but they died. Like, that is the one place where I think Route 66 succeeds a little bit more, in the sense that they just destroy the racist truck, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Especially, like, because Luther did quite literally nothing wrong, and there's nothing explicit other than, like, them saying people didn't like him and he's weird and he seems to be a little bit maybe overly focused on this woman who is nice to him. He has a lot of drawings of her.
Yeah.
Like, very, like, minor implications that he could be, like, autistic or something in this.
Yeah.
It just feels really bad to see it happen twice.
Yeah.
And one of the times is Sam and Bobby, who are good guys, quote unquote.
I didn't
heroes,
like it. I didn't like it. Quote unquote. Which segues us, if we're done with that,
Yes.
Segues us into my secret second trivia. There's a note from Eric Kripke on this Wikipedia, on this fandom wiki page. It reads, I've never before responded directly to the fandom's comments about an episode, and I don't plan to make a habit of it, but I couldn't resist dropping in a thought about Yellow Fever, which is this. Dean is not a dick. None of the writers or anyone on the creative team of Supernatural think Dean's ever been a dick, past, present, or future. He's a hero. Dean did not contract the ghost sickness because he's a dick. Victims contract the illness because they use fear as a weapon. Dean asks Lilith at the episode's end, why did I get infected? And she cryptically responds, you know why, listen to your heart. We, as the writers, probably should have emphasized this mystery more. I take responsibility for that omission. But the point is, the reason he was infected is because of a secret he's keeping. A dark secret that will be revealed in episode 10. And not at all because of any dickishness, implied or otherwise. Thanks, gang. What?
Before we get into the rest of it, I reread the summary for episode 10, and I like, is it just because, like, he became a torturer? Is that the secret that they're talking about? I assumed yes. I just, like...
Yeah, that's probably okay. It. But also,
well, one of the wild things to me is the confidence of saying he's never been a dick in the future. Because you haven't written...
The confidence of saying he's never been a dick past, present, or future. Like, brother, I didn't know it was possible to misunderstand your own fucking character that much.
Oh, Dean, I knew it. I was well aware it was. But Dean Winchester is an asshole.
A dick. He's an asshole.
He's a massive dick.
That's the whole fucking point.
He's very regularly a homophobe. He's ableist. He's super sexist. Like, it also, okay, then this is going to be me being like, there's a different concept of hero now than there used to be, but, like, I think that you can call Sam and Dean heroes from, like, a more, like, old definition of the term if you're thinking, like, the classics, like what the Greeks considered heroes, because all those guys also sucked ass, but
True.
Objectively, in terms of how the Greeks defined it, they were heroes. In that sense, Sam and Dean are consistently doing, like, heroic things, and a lot of times those happen to be good deeds, but I'm including Sam in this. They suck. They are often not good people. They are pretty regularly shitty people.
Yeah, no. They're literally, like, they're assholes. You can be a hero and an asshole. You can be both. But you cannot write that Dean is not an asshole or a dick when he's literally, like, that is his fucking character.
I was gonna say, like, that's part of his character. And for both of them, I would argue part of their character arcs for this series as a whole is finding friends who they are kinder around. Softening a little bit from the childhood that they had that was extremely traumatic. Because, like, not to be like, ooh, found family, but that is really, like, what, when you get into the later series, that's what they're pushing. Like, when you're getting to those later series, episodes, that's what they're starting to push, you know? Like, we're all living in the bunker, we have these people we call on all the time, you know? Like, they start to become, like, nicer people. Dean is not nice. And also, like, he does use fear as a weapon, and I don't think it starts in hell.
Yes.
They threaten people all the time, which is one of the reasons why I don't entirely understand that Sam not using fear as a weapon, because I think Sam does it too. Maybe not to the same extent as Dean, but it's like, the men carry, like, guns around with them and will just put them in people's faces. Like, what do you think that is?
Yeah.
I desperately wish to know what the comments about this episode originally were in 2008. You know, like, what was being said that made Eric Kripke go, I have to say something. And it was probably just people arguing over if Dean was or was not a dick.
Right. I wonder, like, if hard girl Dean girls were like, how could you say this? Which is, like, really funny because, like, if you're a hardcore Dean girl and you're saying that Dean isn't a dick, you're not a fucking Dean girl.
That's just fandom. But, like, you're right. Part of the fun of these characters, if we're being real, is that sometimes they suck. Like, that's what makes them more interesting. Isn't it more interesting that Sam and Dean can't have a fucking conversation about their feelings and constantly hurt each other? Like, isn't that more interesting? That, like, they can be really, really, really mean to each other and to other people, but like especially between the two of them, they get really cruel. Yeah. They have said some awful things to each other. Dean, particularly in these last few seasons because of the demon blood, has said really awful things to Sam. It's weird. Also, seeing this message, it just kind of tells you what he thinks of his characters. Like, he can't imagine them being a dick and being a hero are, like, incompatible, basically. That's how he's worded it. He's not a dick. He's a hero. Like, he can be both.
He can literally do.
Many heroes, you could argue, are both.
Yeah, and he is both, and that's okay. And we need to get over the fact that he's a dick, because Eric Kripke, he's a dick.
Exactly, yes.
And that's that.
That's that.
Would you like to know my rating?
I would.
Okay, so I had a little bit of a hard time with this one. Because last time I said that last episode was a 9.2. And I stand by that. I really enjoyed that episode. But also I think I did set myself up for failure by doing that, because this one was better, but it wasn't quite a 9.5 because there's a lot wrong with it. So I feel like I need to go back and change my 9.2. Mm-hmm. So right here, right now, we're going to change that 9.2 to an 8.9. And Yellow Fever is going to officially be a 9.3 Yorkies with pink bows out of 10.
Great. Sounds good. On IMDb, this episode has a 9.1 out of 10. So you were incredibly close.
A 9 point what?
9.1.
Wow.
Nearly all of these reviews are 8, 9s, and 10s, which is honestly pretty standard. If you're going to IMDb, you either hate it or you love it. And the only two that are lower than that are both 6s. And frankly, both of those are 6s because, like, one thought it was boring. Like, they thought Jensen was great, but, like, it wasted their time. And then the other person is, I believe, someone we've talked about before, Tita Pola, which basically the take is that this is, like, the third Monster of the Week episode in a row, but we do have, like, a mythic arc this season, and we haven't gotten to it, that being Dean being pulled out of hell by Castiel.
Yeah.
So we haven't come back to that. So that's kind of, they like it, and it's a comedy episode overall. But, like, it's, for them, it's a 7 out of 10 if it's its own, but it's just, like, the placement of it dropped it for them. Which I think is fair. Like, we've mentioned that the Supernatural, especially, like, in these, like, in-between seasons, has really struggled with balancing their main arc for the season with their Monster of the Week episodes.
Yeah.
And I like them having the Monster of the Week episodes because it feels like classic Supernatural to me. But at the same time, even back in season 2, we were complaining about the fact that they didn't have enough special children stuff until the end. So it's just one of those things where, like, I just don't think their pacing is ever really good, even if they plan out a whole season. I just don't think they're very good at it.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
Supernatural is just bad.
I don't rate these episodes. The mythology in this one was a little too incoherent for me, but, like, it is a classic, and it wasn't as boring to watch as some other ones. It was a little slow at the beginning, but then it was fine. Thank you so much for listening to HATRUSA. We are HATRUSA everywhere, and I have gotten all of our videos up on YouTube because it automatically uploads for me now, which is beautiful. So you can listen to them there if you prefer, or you can follow us on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. We are happy to be your white noise, and we are happy to be recommended to people for individual episodes that you want to talk to them about Supernatural, but they don't want to watch it, which is, fair and valid. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else there. If anywhere we're the most active is Tumblr, and only because sometimes something random about Supernatural will cross my dash, and I'm like, I should just post that to HATRUSA, but I don't monitor our other socials much, aside from posting the episode. Like, I posted a picture of the Impala. It was at a convention that I was tabling at because Jared Padalecki was there, and so he brought his Impala, so I posted a picture of it. And I also, at some point, reblogged a post about the Supernatural Gene Dungeon, so...
The what?
Have you heard about this?
No.
Here, let me just screenshot this post for you. It is, presumably wardrobe, but it's really funny because it is just racks of jeans.
Stop, that's so funny.
Yeah. I love it. It's just a lot of jeans.
The Jungeon.
Yeah, the Jungeon. But yeah, so if you want post Tumblr updates anywhere else, or just follow us and we'll be there. And you can leave us any comments and one of us will respond. And by one of us, I mean I'll respond. I'll respond if you comment on something.
Yeah.
And that's all I've
been, like, super off social media. So if you
which is for the best. No, that's for the best.
It's so beautiful.
If I'm only on Tumblr now.
Yeah, if you want me, you have to reach me through Taya. So
figure it out.
It better be fucking important.
Yeah. Also, happy 20 years of Supernatural. I don't remember if we said that.
We didn't. We forgot to.
Okay, yeah. The 13th of September, which at this point was almost a week ago, we're off by like an hour, was when the pilot aired in 2005. So that is 20 years of Supernatural. And we are still stuck here. So,
yep.
That's our cross to bear.
That's our fucking cross to bear. Hey, Taya.
Hey, Haley.
Are you ready to finally fucking see Castiel again?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Me the fuck too.
Something will happen plot related. It's great and exciting.
But to find out more about that, we'll have to catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.
We yapped so much.